every city on the road. What's it like for you?
It's been good. Been to a lot of cities I normally probably wouldn't make it to, so that's good. But had a great time with all of it, and yeah, the bus rides maybe aren't as fun, but yeah, the rest of it's been a lot of fun.
How's it trying to be a baseball player? I mean, the two games are so different. I mean, this is an everyday, day in, day out thing.
Yeah.
How's the transition been for you, adjusting to the grind of a baseball
Yeah,
season?
very different. You're very correct in that. I think it's not just like playing the games; it's preparing for them. It's football. You're prepping for 16 games and really peaking each week for one season. And here um, you know, it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but you're trying to stay up for 150, 60 games. So very different that way.
How about the fan turnout? You gotta love it. I mean, people come to see you. Almost more than the baseball player, they come to see Tim Tebow. What does that feel like?
Definitely means a lot to have support. I think it means even more to have a lot of youth groups or groups with people with special needs or that have been involved with our Night to Shine, stuff like that, and that's really special. But I try not to get too high or low with how the fans respond. You can have some cheering for you, and all of a sudden you miss two or three in an autograph line, and they're booing you pretty fast. So I try not to be too affected by it.
Tim, when you jumped into this last winter, obviously it was a foreign thing too for quite a while. How much have you grown in the fact that obviously as a hitter you have to make adjustments on the fly and on the daily?
Sure.
How much do you think you've learned in making those adjustments to become a better hitter?
Well, I think I've learned a lot, and I think also continuing to make those adjustments and learn and improve based on pitcher, series, games, all of that. And I think that as a hitter, it's something you have to really have a short memory and also be able to continue to learn, because you can have good at bats and get out, you can have bad at bats and get hits. You can, you have to constantly adjust and really be able to find that groove.
I don't know if you've seen them, but they're selling your jerseys up in the team store right now. What does that mean as an opposing player?
Is that something that the Yankees are allowed to do? I'm just kidding. Yeah. I guess it's cool. Yeah. Are they Mets jerseys?
They're Rumble Ponies.
Rumble Pony jerseys. I guess that's not the haters out there as much, huh? Yeah, it's cool. Doesn't bother me really.
Tim, what's this adventure taught you about yourself and about life?
That's a big question. I think that it's something that was on my heart, something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I love this adventure and the journey so far, and the highs and the lows of it. What it's taught me about life is that I think it's worth pursuing what's on your heart and things you're passionate about.
Tim, is your trajectory through a minor league system different just because you're a little older than the average minor leaguer?
I would think, I've tried to make things, a little bit different as far as that goes, because I got to speed up the clock. You got to go, you got to learn, you got to adjust, and so I think it's a little bit different as far as that. But also try to handle myself just, obviously it's a little different, but still try to handle myself like one of the guys too.
You say that you're trying to speed up the clock. Is there a sense of pressure to make a move here through the system, just given your age?
I think for me, it's not necessarily a sense of pressure because of my age. I think it's just, I want to be able to push myself as hard as I can. I think that's just also my mentality in anything I've ever done.
Yeah. Sandy said during spring training when you first showed up that he believes that you can get to the major league level. We're into June now. Do you still believe that, what he said?
That's his beliefs, and I appreciate his support. For me, I've always believed in myself, and so I'm not going to stop now.
If they called you tomorrow, would you feel ready, or?
I don't know. I think I'm improving every day. I still think there's a lot of things that I know I will improve on and can improve on, and I'm making those strides every day. So I think every game, every series, I'm improving, and I want to keep making those strides.
You have a proven veteran.
Is there a single best thing about your baseball experience so far?
Best
a lesson,
thing?
or just being a baseball player, day-to-day opportunity?
There's been some really fun things. I mean, at every level, my first day hitting a home run has been pretty special. That's kind of surreal. Just some of the walk-offs to be a part of, the fun memories, all that stuff. Probably won't remember the bus rides as well, but it's all been really fun.
Tim, you have a proven veteran and not a suspect at some point. Are you going to try and pick his brain?
Well, me and Tess have been friends for a while, and we talked a lot this spring, really, especially out there doing outfield drills, talking hitting, playing, everything. So I've already learned a lot of things from him, and obviously I'll pay close attention to what he does too, especially swinging the bat.
Tim, what's the pitching like been in your estimation up here in the Eastern League? Obviously, they probably attack you a little bit different than they do in the Florida State League and the South Atlantic League. What has that been like for you?
I think it's been a good adjustment. I think it's really changes based on the teams we play. Some teams will really try to come in with, high fastballs and then work away off speed. Some teams will, just really change it up, and so it depends on kind of that pitcher, their pitching coach, how they try to plan to go about me. But I love seeing it different because that also makes me adjust and continue to try to evolve as a hitter as well.
When did you say that friendship with Cespedes started?
I guess probably a little bit the year before, but then also this spring we talked a good amount.
What have you kind of taken off him in terms of baseball? Just trying to be a better player, just trying to get.
Well, he worked and I was around him a little bit in the off season hitting. I worked with some of the same guys I did, and then just we'd be in the cage and we'd talk drills, and we do some of the same drills. Well, I do his drills, and so then we just talked about it. We'd work on things, and I'd watch him a lot of the time.
If you had to write a scouting report yourself, what would it say?
I don't know. I can't give that away. I mean, just between the two of us.
And these 12 reporters.
Yeah, perfect. I would say that I'm a work in progress, but I feel like I'm improving every day.
Does the level of interest, just fans and media in every city you go to, surprise you at all? Especially so long after you started playing baseball?
I don't know. I don't know if it's surprises me. To be honest, I don't know if I really pay too much attention to it. Just try to go about my business and do what I came here to do.
What do you think the reason for it is?
I don't know. What do you think? I'm thankful that people want to come out and watch, but I'll never get too high or too low with that.
You mentioned the flair for the dramatic, the home runs. I was in the fall league when you helped resuscitate the fan who was on the other side of the wall when you were signing autographs. Oh, wow, good memory.
He's a good kid.
Why do you think? Have you ever thought, you spent some time thinking about why it is you're attached to the dramatic, even when you're struggling?
I don't know. I think I'm thankful for some of those moments, though, especially like times with Brandon and the things that really matter. I think my goal has always been able to transcend whatever I do. Never make it just about football or baseball, but always when you get an opportunity for it to be something bigger than that. Because if all you do is play in the outfield and strike out or hit home runs or whatever it is, like at the end of the day, it's kind of empty. But if you can take something, a sport you love to do, and transcend it to something bigger and to hope for people or smiles or changing people's lives or the special needs kids you'll see here tonight, like then you're doing something that's just a little bit more important than swinging a baseball bat.
Have you and Alonzo talked about, reminisced about old Gainesville hot spots that you like?
I mean, we talk about the Florida days for sure.
Is that something that's kind of neat for you, though? You have another Gator here and something you guys kind of root for each other?
Yeah, that's definitely been nice. I think Gator Nation always sticks together pretty well, and so, we've definitely been, supportive of each other.
How would you describe overall just your relationship with teammates and what that dynamic has been like for you, just being a little bit older than these guys?
Yeah, I think it's been in certain areas it's different, but I think it's been really good. I think a lot of those guys have played a lot more baseball than I have, but at the same time I've played a lot more sports than they have, and so I think just being able to sometimes share with some of the younger guys that you went 0-4 and they think it's the end of the world, and it's not the end of the world, like it's okay. And I think try to help deal with the praise or the criticism and kind of help coach them through it a little bit and support them, and because I've been in a lot of those situations where there's a lot of scrutiny, and I can help them understand this isn't the end of the world. And then I think I've taken a lot of different baseball tips and skills and knowledge and approaches from a lot of the guys I've played with as well, and so I think that's a really good dynamic.
Can you see yourself becoming a coach when your career's completed?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I like teaching, and I like sharing, and I like being able to give what I've been able to go through and what I have learned to people that might go through it. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that I want to do with my life, and I feel like in a lot of different areas I'm just getting started with that.
Like you just said, there's a lot of things that you want to do in your life, and obviously baseball is something that was on your heart, and a dream to get back into that. With that said, do you kind of have a timeline? Obviously, the ultimate goal is probably to get to the big leagues. Do you have a goal of pursuing that for X amount of time? And if that doesn't happen, walking away saying you tried your best, or is this something you're pretty much hell-bent on trying until you make it there?
I don't know. I think that's a really good question. I think that's something I'll have to figure out, pray about it, and see, where my heart's at with everything. It's hard to necessarily put a timetable. How do you put a timetable on dream or ambitions or heart? And so I think it's just, looking at it, praying about it, and figuring out what's best.
Got to do two more. Tim talked about what you can do off the field, not just off the field. I want to ask you about the anthem. In 2012, from what I understand, you used it to protest abortion, from what I understand? No?
No.
Okay. Can you clarify that? I just want to get your thoughts about what's happening with the NFL and the new policy.
I think that's sometimes one of the things that's a little bit sad is sometimes people will just try to create something that had zero truth. Like, I never did anything during a national anthem but stand and support my country. And then stories can get written and they can get put out of proportion so that you believe one thing when you're asking me a question that was nothing that was part of the truth. And so I think I think it's just important that sometimes we just go back to the facts. And for me, it wasn't even something that I did as a celebration. A lot of people even think it was a touchdown celebration. I never did it to celebrate a touchdown. I did it from my sophomore year in high school all the way through the NFL, that before and after games I would get on a knee to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and also put things into perspective that ultimately this game doesn't matter, but what matters is me honoring Him before and after the game. And so it was never something I did to take away from anybody else. It was just something I did as a personal relationship with my God. And so I think that's just sometimes, disappointing when things get taken away from the truth, and then it's just created into whatever someone wants it to be.
Sorry for the confusion.
No, it's okay. But I think that's important, though.
Oh, to clarify?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about the players using it for that purpose, to draw attention to inequity and social?
Well, I think when people believe in something and they stand for that, I don't knock them for that. Even if I agree with some or disagree with some, I appreciate it when people have convictions and they stand for that. I think it's important how we do that as well. So I think there's a lot of players that I'm friends with that have been on both sides, and I understand it. And I think what's more important is to know their heart and where they're coming from, and where the conviction stands in their heart and what they really want to share.
Gotcha. Tim, thank you very much.
Thanks. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. God bless. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.